Welcome back to the ranch. Today I'm going to do a quick gel test with a realistic clothing barrier. Now in the past I've simulated more of a realistic clothing barrier by just applying 2 layers of denim instead of 4. But today I think I'm going to get a little bit more creative. And I'm going to compare Fiocchi Covert-X with Gold Dot. I've chronographed both of these in the past. So just a gel test today. But I wanted to see how the penetration and expansion would look with a layer of sweatshirt and 2 layers of old kind of worn out t-shirt. And we will be using a 2 3/4 inch barrel for this. This is a ACP 2.75. Icy cold second melt gel blocks. About 14 inches of gel. But I'm expecting to see expansion out of these, so I'm not too worried that we'll get over penetration. I'm just going to shoot the gold dots first, because I'm more curious to see how the Covert-X will do. Gold dot's 90 grains, Covert-X is 95. Not a complete apples to apples test, but they are both standard pressure 380. Looks good so far. Yep, flawless. Everything is standard so far. Penetrated just to 9 inches, maybe just across the 9-inch line. Properly expanded. Now we'll get the Covert-X. Make sure I get fresh cloth and aim carefully. Any bets on whether we get better penetration out of the Covert-X or the Gold Dot? I'm betting on the Covert-X. I really believe in 95 grains out of a 380, if you can get it moving fast enough. Ooh, how far over did I get? Oh, we're fine. That'll work. Yeah, that's definitely penetrated deeper than the Gold Dot. Possibly even a nicer, nah, it's hard to tell. I say the Gold Dot has a bigger expansion signature. That Covert-X has penetrated to 10 inches, easily 10. Looks like 10 1/4. Quite nice. Quite a nice round. Obviously 10 inches beats 9 inches. Neither one of these passes the 12-inch minimum, but both have great expansion through a layer of sweatshirt and 2 layers of old cotton t-shirt. And we will figure out the shortest direction and dig those out of there. Boy, they're both pretty solidly in that gel block. I think they're closer to the top than the bottom though. Come in this way. Yeah, that's a pretty tough block. Those should be pretty realistic penetration depths. I think I'm going to demonstrate that if I remembered to bring the BB gun with a quick calibration BB, but I'm going to have to put this back on the ice for a little first. Amazingly, I would say that Covert-X has expanded bigger and penetrated deeper than that Gold Dot. Let's put the calipers on them. Zero that out. Get some of that gelatin out of there. I can see which way is the biggest. Doesn't really matter. Pretty even expansion all around. Wow. 0.57. 0.575 really. 745. That's quite substantial. That is well over 50%. Man, for a standard pressure round out of a 2 3/4 inch barrel, that Covert-X is amazing. And the gold dot, probably the widest right there, where one of the petals is sticking out a little bit unevenly. 0.5425. That's still 50% expansion, over 50. Quite nice, quite nice. Both of these rounds are excellent, but neither one of them is passing that 12-inch penetration that you like to see as a minimum. But I think for standard, as far as standard pressure 380 goes, these are pretty close to the best. So there's our 2 3/4 inch barrel test of the Covert-X by Fiocchi and the Gold Dot by Spear out of a 2 3/4 inch barrel into calibrated ballistic gel with a light clothing barrier, well, with a realistic clothing barrier of a layer of sweatshirt and 2 layers of old worn out cotton t-shirt. All right, let's get that gel block off the ice again and put a calibration BB in there. About 10 feet away. All right, captured that nicely. Okay, right to where, yeah, we don't, parallax is messing with the whole situation here. But there's where the BB went in. And it looks like it stopped at 3 inches, but realistically, that's just shy of 3.5. Good gel block. Very valid test. And the new ammo is the Fiocchi Covert-X. It's a 95 grain round with a muzzle velocity on the box of 1,015 FPS. We'll see how it does from the Sig Sauer P238. 7 feet. 926. 978. 936. 955. And 936. At a 5-shot average of 946 feet per second, that is gel test material right there, and it's 95 grains. I can barely believe that's a standard pressure round. A quick comparison with the Fiocchi 95 grain Target Max. Their list velocity is only 960 feet per second. 920. 887. 944. 892. And 932. So a little less consistency from the target ammo. 915 feet per second average muzzle velocity, again from that 2 3/4 inch barrel. Thanks, folks. This is Dave from Discreet Defense Ranch. Have another great week.